Appearances can be deceiving. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today, we're counting down our picks for the top 10 famous duos that did not get along in real life. For this list, we're looking at various famous entertainment duos who fought, disagreed, or just straight up didn't like each other behind the cameras, including a few that eventually made up. Number 10. David Gilmour and Roger Waters. Roger Waters and David Gilmour were the primary songwriters of Pink Floyd, the heart and soul behind the music. While the two created some of the most timeless and influential music of all time, they never really got along with each other.
My confidence in my own lyric writing has not always been that high, and Roger showed a very strong desire to be the lyricist, and we all lazily allowed that to happen.
They were constantly getting into arguments regarding the direction of the band and their respective workloads, with Waters writing the entirety of the final cut by himself.
It got so difficult that Roger wanted me to not have a say in what was going on the production side of the album, so after a lot of arguing and umming and ahhing and soul-searching, I agreed to come off the production credits.
In the mid-1980s, both musicians recorded solo albums to get away from Pink Floyd. And it was soon after that when Waters left the band.
Pink Floyd never toured with the final cut, really, because I think no one wanted to tour. Particularly Roger Waters didn't want to tour. He really seemed to want to get out of the whole thing at that point.
Number 9. Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams. This duo was often idolized as the perfect couple, but real life was much less The Notebook and more, well, real life.
What do you want? Damn it, what do you want?
I have to go.
When they met during the filming of the romantic drama, the two got off to a rocky start. In fact, they couldn't stand each other. According to director Nick Cassavetes, it got so bad that Gosling wanted to bring in another actress to read off camera with him.
What is that supposed to mean?
Unsurprisingly, a screaming match ensued, with McAdams standing her ground. The two ended up dating for several years after the film's release, but it wasn't to last. Sure, opposites attract, but they can also quarrel a lot.
Did you just stay with me?
Stay with you? What for? Look at us, we're already fighting.
Well, that's what we do. We fight.
Number 8. Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. Astaire and Rogers are perhaps the most famous dance duo in history, appearing in 10 movies together throughout the 30s and 40s. However, while their chemistry may have sizzled on screen, it fizzled behind the cameras. They never particularly liked each other, and they would need large amounts of coaxing by producers to work together. A lot of their animosity came from Rogers allegedly wanting all the recognition.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, time. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now you've got it.
Astaire told his biographer that she always wanted to be the boss, and Rogers later asked the same man, is it usual, is it not, to put the lady first? Regardless of who was boss, they made for a fantastic duo.
Yes, it was my idea.
Have you any more of them?
No.
Number 7. Liam and Noel Gallagher. Oasis is, or was, one of the most popular rock bands in the world, and the Gallagher brothers' hatred towards one another has become legendary.
Is it really?
Yeah. We don't like each other, man. A lot of people think we're waiting around, you know what I mean, for like a few more noughts on the end for the thing, but they've already offered us like loads of money, like millions and millions, but not about the money, is it? You know what I mean?
It all began, well, when Liam was born, as they were immediately at each other's throats. It didn't get much better after forming Oasis. Some of their most famous incidents include Liam smacking Noel with a tambourine, Liam heckling Noel from a balcony during a performance on MTV Unplugged.
Shut up. And I was like, well, thanks. The least you could do is, show a bit of support.
And Liam calling Noel a potato on Twitter. We're starting to think that this feud is a little one-sided.
Liam always said he would bring down Armageddon in the end. That's the way he kind of likes things to be,
Number 6. Abbott and Costello. When it comes to comedy duos, few names come to mind as quickly as Abbott and Costello. They were a hugely influential comedic act, and the films they made together throughout the 40s continue to be highly regarded. But like most comedians, there was a sadness lurking underneath, as the two couldn't stand each other.
Oh, no, wait a minute, friends. You don't want to hear that, do you?
Yeah.
Costello declared that he was done with Abbott after he hired the domestic servant that Costello fired, and despite filming more movies, they never spoke to each other when not sharing the screen. There are also rumors that Costello publicly accused Abbott of being a drunk, to which Abbott responded that he would beat Costello up.
Can't sit here like a big dummy. I don't know why I hang around with you. You can't answer a question.
You said that I was putting thousands of people out of work.
That's what you're doing.
I'm not putting anybody out of work.
Number 5. Mick Jagger and Keith Richards. As with Pink Floyd, the Rolling Stones is a band built around two main songwriters, Mick Jagger and Keith Richards. But their professional ambitions often got in the way of their personal lives.
It's very difficult for us. I don't know. I mean, I don't always agree with Keith. There's a lot of them.
They've been at each other's throats for decades, mostly stemming from jealousy and drugs, but their relationship hit rock bottom when Richards published his autobiography, which included an embarrassing portrayal of Jagger.
But he's often critical of you then?
He's not happy.
Some claim that they only stick together for the money, as each failed as solo artists. We can't imagine that they're in dire need of cash, but we guess you never know.
Be ludicrous if you like, Mick. You know, we'll be there. At the same time, the band might not feel the same way about the lead singer some days.
Number 4, Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel. Don't let their innocent sound fool you. There was a lot of animosity here, and it was just begging to be released. Despite Bridge Over Troubled Water being one of the most acclaimed and popular albums ever, its production was fraught with difficulty.
You gentlemen work as equals, a team. How, on the road, do you need a guy to be the leader?
Sorry.
And if so...
Simon and Garfunkel were constantly fighting with each other, and their relationship crumbled as a result. They announced their split in the early 70s, citing their lack of chemistry and permanently damaged partnership.
We've known each other since we're 11.
Yeah, that's hard sometimes.
We've been having arguments since we're 12.
Despite a few brief yet successful reunions over the years, their relationship was constantly strained and never fully recovered. Number 3, David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson. Yes, believe it or not, Duchovny and Anderson are as incompatible as Mulder and Scully. The duo has been portraying the famous FBI agents on The X-Files for over 20 years, and their chemistry is a large reason as to why the show is so successful.
The difference is you never put yourself ahead of your work, and that's what's happening here.
While they have seemingly made up in recent years, they were allegedly at each other's throats during the show's original run. Duchovny told Metro, "We used to argue about nothing. We couldn't stand the sight of each other."
Those are the risks we take. You either accept them or you don't.
Anderson seemed to agree, telling The Guardian, "There were definitely periods when we hated each other."
Yeah, this is how I like my Mulder.
So you're agreeing with me?
No! You're bat crap crazy.
Number 2, Anthony Daniels and Kenny Baker. You may know them better as C-3PO and R2-D2. Yes, despite being one of the most iconic duos in film history, the real C-3PO and R2-D2 got along about as well as 3PO and R2.
Don't you call me a mindless philosopher, you overweight glob of grease. Now come out before somebody sees you.
Baker seems to have taken issue with Daniels' introversion and coldness, calling him standoffish and rude, and when referring to a potential reunion, he said, "If you invite his lordship, I won't be there."
Artu, come back at once. You haven't finished with me yet. You don't know how to fix the hyperdrive. Chewbacca can do it.
And while Daniels has remained relatively quiet when it comes to the feud, he did take a potshot at Baker when discussing his contribution to the movie, saying R2-D2 doesn't even speak. He might as well be a bucket.
I've just about had enough of you. Go that way. You'll be malfunctioning within a day, you nearsighted scrap pile. And don't let me catch you following me, begging for help, because you won't get it.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis. When Abbott and Costello dropped out of public favor, Martin and Lewis took their place, enjoying a successful career together for exactly 10 years.
We belong together.
While they got along fine in the early 1950s when they were still young and ambitious, success proved to be the death of them. Martin began to resent the roles which were given to him and believed that Lewis was losing sight of the comedy.
Hello?
No.
Hello?
Can't be. Can't be. Out. Out. Get out. Get out.
Oh, no. I work here.
their relationship quickly deteriorated, with Martin calling Lewis nothing but an expletive $sign to him.
You know, it seems like we haven't seen each other for 20 years.
Well, you know, there was all those rumors about our breaking up, and then when I started the show and you weren't here, I believed it.
Luckily, the story has a happy ending, as they reconciled after 20 years and were good friends at the time of Martin's death in 1995. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.